I love principles. I talk about principles a lot. I love principles because principles are always at play. Principles always apply. Principles always work. And time has made it evident to the fact that principles can be presented in different expressions, different ways, but the truth is always there. The truth is never lost. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to present the term risk to reward ratio. It's a principle, a common expression. It's actually a principle that is at work in every financial decision that you make, whether you realize it or not, whether it's recognized. And I'm saying that because I think of someone like my grandfather. His occupation as a cowboy and a gambler, he colored his language in a unique brand of South Texas wisdom. When he would gamble, when he was in gamble mode, he would utter phrases like "straight way the best way" when he was in gamble mode. And in retrospect, I realized he was reminding himself of his risk to reward ratio. I know he didn't mean it like that, or I'm sure he couldn't explain it, but it worked for him. Straight way the best way. The point is, just like any gambler, stock trader, oil wildcatter, or real estate speculator knows, they know what the potential upside is, the reward, what that looks like in a deal, and the best ones, the most adept ones, know and take a disciplined approach to assessing whether the odds of that deal work in their favor and whether it's worth pursuing. That's the risk part of it. The principle of risk and reward and one's awareness of it can be the difference in just how much you can multiply your money. Again, no matter what you may call it, the layman and the professional alike can benefit from knowing how the principle is at play. So, we'll briefly lay bare the principles behind risk and reward ratio and allow you to develop your own philosophy that works for you. First of all, let's be clear. Your risk to reward ratio is unquestionably personal. Nobody else can tell you whether the profit potential in any deal, venture, investment, money play, etc., is worth chasing relative to the potential loss. That's what you have to remember. The potential gain versus the potential loss. You can be as rational and prudent as you like using another person's philosophy as a guide for you. But at the end of the day, no two people have the same goals, financial obligations, deal structures, relationships, loss endurance, threshold for comfort, knowledge, intuition, or aptitude. We are all familiar with the idea that the biggest risks come with the biggest rewards, and that holds true most of the time. Like my grandfather and other skilled market traders can notice, they can notice slight deficiencies in odds to where the reward was disproportionately higher than the potential for loss, and they take advantage of it because it's worth it to them. The reward is worth the risk. So what does that mean for you in a practical sense? So that means what looks like a big risk or unfavorable outcomes for someone else may just be perfect for you. For example, you may look at a real estate deal that hundreds of other investors have passed over, and your unique knowledge, your intuition, your relationship with the seller, your circumstance, your timing, whatever, can reveal to you things that would make the deal a sound investment and worth the potential rewards. But it also may make the potential for loss somewhat bearable. You're able to take that risk because you believe in it that much. For example, you may look at a 40K building that is located in what is known as a poverty-stricken area. You may have prior knowledge about upcoming city improvements to the area. The property could be in the path of growth and revitalization, and you have this uncommon knowledge. Perhaps you grew up in that area, and your presence as an owner on the block could spark a bit of a culture change towards the positive. You may see additional value in transforming the property into a multi-family or a mixed-use complex. The profit from that 40K could be tenfold, and you have a 250K property with great cash flow. Conversely, that 40K could prove to go down the proverbial drain, but that is a possibility that you have already conceived and accounted for and planned for, and you can tolerate. So, how do you figure out your risk to reward ratio? Well, it's not an exact science. Again, it's a matter of personal choice and is just something to be aware of. However, I'll say when you are considering an investment of any kind, you'll want to be clear on your financial goal and your desirable profit. Write it down and be as specific as possible. You want to develop a plan and stick with it as much as possible. You want to be clear on how much you stand to lose should the investment go completely against you. Remember Murphy's Law, whatever can happen likely will happen at some point, given the amount of occurrences. Okay, consider the full ramifications should you take that loss. Get all the facts that you can about the investment, seek counsel, trust your gut, and don't lose so much that you can't get back in the game. So, in conclusion, most people are very extremely risk adverse. I'd say most people are that way. Some people find just getting out of bed and leaving home to be a risk, and it is. But as an entrepreneur and as someone seeking a different, a greater, more fulfilled life, I'm of the belief that the greatest risk is not taking any risk at all. I truly believe that, and you will undoubtedly form your own approach to your financial life. Again, it's very personal, but it's important to understand that for every risk, whether it be the action you take or don't take, there is a commensurate reward. The simple awareness of that fact can create the space for you to make that work for you however you see fit.